Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today, checking out one of my latest pickups right here, the ZX 10000C collaboration between Adidas and Offspring in the UK in the LA colors. So without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so before we get into the new LA pair from Offspring, of course, I want to just rewind it back to around February last year, 2019, when the ZX 10000C was unveiled and released here locally. This is a consortium version of the ZX model. This kind of rewinds things all the way back to the ZX 9000 in, I think, the late 80s. And it left people wondering what happened after the ZX 9000 before the whole ZX range was eventually replaced by the equally as awesome equipment range all the way back then as far as the Adidas timeline goes. Now this is a shoe that I initially wasn't 100% sure on. It was just like kind of an old looking model and there was a lot of other cool stuff coming out at that time, so I kind of slept on them for a couple of days after release. Luckily for me, they didn't actually sell out. I went into shelf life, I put the shoe on just to try it out, and I was absolutely in love with the model. Just the shape of the shoe, everything like that on foot is an absolute winner. Subsequently, since then, there have been a couple of other models, mostly collaborations with Overkill, which there have been some really awesome ones at that. They look like this. This particular one, from a colorway perspective, was just like everything to me. I didn't need anything else other than this particular pair. That was until these things popped up on my Instagram the other day. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you see something and it's love at first sight, you generally just want to do whatever you can to get your hands on a pair of these. And that is exactly what I did for this. I immediately started reaching out to people in the UK because this was a UK exclusive, well, an Offspring exclusive, and their store's only in the UK as far as I know. But luckily, when it came to the release, they were shipping to South Africa as well. So they did cost a pretty penny getting in here. I think the actual retail price of the shoe was around £100 or $125. And then it was about a $25 shipping fee on top of that, plus the customs, etc. So what you're looking at here, landed at least in South Africa, is around 4,700 Rand, which is, now that I think about it, a hell of a lot of money for the shoe. That said, when a shoe is this good, I don't really mind having to spend a little bit more just to get it out here, and I certainly do not regret putting that kind of money behind this pair because they absolutely bang in hand. Now onto this particular colorway itself, it grabs its inspiration from Los Angeles, of course. In fact, the heels of Beverly Hills, sort of sunset vibe. This was actually the photo that got me into the shoes. When I saw that, I knew that those were coming home. But starting with the outsole of the shoe, you've got this beautiful cream color throughout, and that's obviously got this durable traction pattern which has been molded into the outsole of that. The torsion bar here, which is that old famous technology from Adidas, is done in this sort of darky reddy brown color, almost like a terracotta if you'd call it that. And then you've got this beautiful hit of transparent sort of blue in the heel section of the outsole. Flipping into the midsole, that coloration continues with that light creamy color. You do have some molded details here in the midsole itself, and that's pretty much on both the medial and the lateral side of the shoe as well. And now moving into the upper, this, as mentioned earlier, draws its inspiration from the heels of Beverly Hills, something like that. And you've got a whole bunch of different mismatched materials and colorings, different shades of pinks, blues, grays, and blacks, and all of that working really, really well together to bring this whole sort of ensemble to life. Now, starting here in the toe box of the shoe, you've got this very, very light pastel-y, pinky, baby pinky, kind of whatever pink that is, in suede, obviously done around the full side of the toe box as well. Just above that, you've got this beautiful hit of blue. That's actually a 3M TPU overlay, so that's going to be reflecting under certain light conditions, which is really nice. The base material of the toe box is done in this beautiful gray mesh, and that obviously works its way up into the tongue of the shoe, the mid panels, and some of the top sections of the heel section of the shoe as well. But then sitting just over that and forming part of the lacing system, you do have a more of a darker kind of pinky color, and that's more of the long hair suede, so you're getting a little bit more of a textured feel to it on these particular panels. And then to the side of the shoe, the three stripes here are one of my favorite features on here, these very, very, very light pinks. So that's pretty much the third coloring of pink that we're seeing on this particular pair, but they do have these thin lines of white just edging off the three stripes. There, of course, are these material overlays, so you can actually get your finger right behind there, stand a bit off the shoe, giving it a bit of depth in its design. Set just below that, you've got this black mesh netting over here, which kind of creates these little pocket systems just more of a design detail than you would actually ever put anything in there, because you can't really get much in there if you wanted to. But then of course you've got that torsion logo done in a pink, which is just a fused overlay on top of that. Then moving further into the heel section, the heel counter here is done in a pink. It looks really, really nice. And then in the actual heel section, you've got the trefoil logo, which has been debossed and painted black into the suede heel section of the shoe. Just above that, another hit of this beautiful blue 3M TPU overlay, and then that gray sort of metallic-y mesh just above that. Now, checking out some finer details of the shoe, as this is an Offspring collaboration and it doesn't have any specific Offspring branding on the shoe, they have provided you with a set of accessories which are combined with this set of flat gray laces, which are obviously branded. These are the Adidas and Offspring community co-branded laces, which are done in sort of a light cream off-whitey kind of color. I'm not really sure I'm going to be putting those in. I don't really think it's going to be too much of a good look on this particular pair. But one of my absolute favorite details on this particular pair as well is the pins that they provide you, which are obviously branded or co-branded with the Adidas logo and the Offspring logo. And the pins themselves are done in a black and gold, and that basically just goes into the top sort of eyelet of the shoe where the lace doesn't go through. So that basically just adds a bit of Offspring branding, really cementing this as a collaboration, of course, with Offspring. Now at the top of the tongue, you do have the Adidas trefoil logo, which is done in a black, and that's done on a pink base as well. On the reverse side of that, you have the ZX and Adidas torsion logo 10,000C represented on that side, and that is on both of the shoes as well. Just flipping out the insoles of the shoe, these are done in a gray and white with a pattern throughout with the Adidas, the brand, with the 3 stripes and originals logo done in the heel section. That is on both of these insoles as well. Again, no Offspring branding or anything like that. Just to show you underneath, you do have these 2 sort of padded areas here in the heel and the forefoot of the insole, which basically kind of don't feel like they're adding much comfort when I press them in here, to be honest, but I guess it's doing something out there. And one last detail before I forget, just the eyelets on here, which are done in this plastic system over here. They are really, really awesome from a detail perspective, just because they are a flat gray, but they do have this black speckled paint on it, which really just gives it a bit of a cementy vibe going on in this particular upper, and it really just, for me, works great on this particular pair. But that in essence are all the details of this particular pair. It's a really awesome colorway, in my opinion. I love the sort of LA inspiration with it, and I really love how they do look on foot. If you do want to get a pair of these, I think they pretty much have sold out, as they were exclusive to Offspring. I've mentioned the price earlier of £100 or $125, depending on what currency you are buying in. If you do want to try get a pair on the resale market, I don't think they're going to be too much more than what retail actually was, so they shouldn't be too far out of reach. If you were going to go for these anyway, I would recommend going true to size with the ZX 10,000C. That's what I've done. I've got a UK 9 here, and they fit me absolutely perfectly, and I knew that from the previous model over here. So if you don't know what your actual size is in this particular model, you should be able to go to your nearest consortium store and try on a pair of either the Overkills or the other consortium models that have released, and just get your size from there. But that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, found it insightful or helpful. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe right here for more content, reviews and vlogs down the line. But that's all for now. I'll catch you on the next one.